The following is a conversation with Hardy Kruger from Germany. Hardy goes into the history of how he got started in racing pigeons, how he flies his pigeons at his own loft, and we discuss one-loft racing. I think you're really going to enjoy this episode, and I really appreciate Hardy's time. If you're enjoying these interviews, please do hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let our guests know that you appreciate them coming on. It really does help. Thank you. All right, I'm here with Hardy Kruger from Germany. And which town are you in Germany?
We have 8 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
Yes.
And which village are you in, or which province? Is that what it'd be? Is province?
Yeah, my village, it's called Trommerskirchen. It's a small town between Cologne, Düsseldorf, Aachen. It's very close to the border to Belgium and the Netherlands. And 50, 60 kilometers, I'm in Aachen. Then it's the border to Belgium and also the border to the Netherlands.
Yeah, you're really close to Belgium, only about an hour and a half driving, and you can be right to you. So that's close for guys in the United States.
Yeah, it's very close. We also raise the direction what the people in Belgium race. We are also start the first races in Belgium and first prize races, Rethel, Reims, Orleans, Verson, Bourges, La Sauterelle. This is also the direction we are race in Germany.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for coming on. I've been looking
Yes.
forward to this. I've been a fan of you and your pigeons and all your success. Over the years, I've been doing a lot of reading and watching your, interviews and videos and studying your pedigrees and your pigeons. So I'm really excited and really appreciate you coming on to talk today and to do this. So thank you so much and welcome on to the show.
Yeah, no problem. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. You were just in the U.S. not too long ago for the convention. My race season was going on at the time, so I couldn't be there in person, but I'll have to catch you on the next time you come to the U.S., but I'm gonna come see you in June, hopefully, when I come over there. So
Yeah, you are welcome. We have the plan. This was for 2 years to come to USA, but this was the problem with Corona. And
Mm.
last year was my first time in USA. We was in Texas, Houston, visit some uh, Black Gold Seaways, Tony Dines, Tony Kuva Trails. No, it was a nice week. We have much fun.
Did they feed you a lot of steak? Big steaks,
Yeah,
Texas
yeah,
style steak?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. Tony was also with us in the stadium from Dallas Cowboys. We was on the field with the football and something. No, it was a really nice trip. People are very, yeah, nice and have a very nice time this week.
What did you think of that big stadium, the Cowboy Stadium? What did you
Yeah,
think?
it's super. Yeah, it's really now we have also in Germany some big stadium. It's not for football, for the other football what
Yeah,
we are
football.
playing
Yeah.
in Germany. There's also the big stadiums. It's but it was also really nice. But maybe next time when I come, when it's also a game, then it's I think much nicer to see it.
Yeah, it's an incredible experience to go there. It's an amazing stadium and everything. That's great that Tony took you guys there.
Mm.
So let's go back to where pigeons began for you. How did you get your first pigeons? Was it something that was in your family, or is it something you found on your own? When did pigeons start for you?
Also we have not pigeons before. We have my family. Have many animals. We have a dog. We have cats. We have fishes. We have rabbits. And one time, yeah, then we have 4 birds here. And then we breed some youngsters. I think, 10, 11 years old. And this was the first time when I come with pigeons in contact. But it was not, yeah, what we can say. It was not the plan to race or something, but more and more I come interesting. We have also here in my house we have a shop. There was also some people you can buy some things, and there was also some pigeon fanciers. Then we go also to look to the races when the birds come back, and this was the first time when I come interesting to see what the birds can make, something like this. He sent 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 kilometers, and the birds come back. And yeah, this was I think 87, 88. I was 12, 13 years old in this time. And then we breed the first youngsters, and then come more and more. And yeah, and 90 was the year that we have a little bit coming. It's more. So we breed over 100 youngsters. We became also some youngsters, and I think this was the year, to change all. In this year, I have 5, 6 super birds, and we are winning with this year, with this 90 year, all with the youngsters. 1 year later, 91, we win all with these birds in the yearling championships. This was also incredible. And then the year 92 come. It was not for me before to win the German championship or something like this. This when people talk to this, he said, "No, this is you cannot win something." There are people that very rich, only invest big in money, and we have 92 a good team, and then after 6, 7 races, I make one people talk to me and ask me, you have to see your points. It was before in this years you make 8 from 8 pictures, you make the cross, and the 4 best birds from this 8 nomination birds are the points are for the German championship. You need 10 races. And from the 10 races, the points calculation, then with the most points, you are the champion from Germany. And then after 6, 7 races, I make the calculation, and for then 10 races, and I see the points from the last year. And was the first time to realize, it can be something super. And and this was the super year, and this was the start.
So 1990, you got started, and quickly, just in a couple of years, you started rising up to the top. Is that what you're saying? 92 was a really special year where it kind of...
Yes. Aber it was in the beginning, for me, it was also a little bit too fast. I have not realized what I have make in this years. I was 16 years old. I was champion from Germany. Carl Lewis was the 3rd ace bird from Germany. I have the 4th place in the long distance championship. And all people, he said, it's not normal what you can make, and something. He said it's also cheating and something.
Right.
Yeah, in the beginning, it was for me too much to what all come. And then I say, when I know it before, I want better not. This is after the years, then you realize what you have make in this year. It was so unbelievable in this year. But I say every time to the people that say it's not normal, I say it was a motivation to show the people the next years the same, that can be good.
Yeah,
and this, I think, was also the best what I make, that I not sell Carl Lewis. There was also many offers to buy these birds. And when I start in the beginning, I think 99% from all the people have, after 3, 4 years, so a big offer for one bird, he sell the bird. And I said, no, I take the bird in the breeding loft. I not know the parents from Carl Lewis before. I breed in 90. And then 2 years later, I check for the breeding list, but I not find it, and I not know their parents. It was from me in the beginning, the birds. And then, I take Carl Lewis in the breeding loft, and this, I think, was the best thing what I make.
So from 90 to 92, you rose up so quickly and were having so much success. They thought you might be cheating, and they were looking for any reason you were doing so well. What happened before that? Where did you get your birds? Who did you learn from? How to get the pigeons in the right condition?
I have also some friends. He give me some good birds. This is every time when you start, you became from this some birds, from this some birds. It was also a mix. It was not that we have in the beginning strategy that you can say you go to this breeder, buy something, you go to this breeder, buy something, and cross the families or something. It was, I think, also many luck to become these birds in the beginning, and then to coupling and to breed these birds.
Right.
I think it was 6, 7 birds. When you breed every year one from this bird, then are good. And I have 95, 6 birds from this quality in 1 year. And this was, I think, also a little bit luck.
And where did you learn how to take care of the pigeons, how to get them in good condition, good form, so that they would perform well on race day?
Yeah, I have also read some books and also go to some people that show me something. And then it's also in the beginning, also my mind, what I thinking. It's not all things what I heard some people. I think it was for my normal. I think it's not good, and yeah, I find a little bit my own way, and maybe I have something to see something I not know, but maybe I have a good hand
Yeah,
for
you're
something to
natural.
see, yeah, to see something. Uh,
Yeah. So tell us about racing in Germany. You said that you race the same direction as Belgium. How many people are you racing against in your area? How many fanciers are there in your area? And how many pigeons are we talking about per race back then? Was it big club, big area, or a small number of
yeah,
birds, big birds?
in the beginning for 30 years, it was also my area. It's called it Bezirk 16. It was also very big. It was over 1,500 breeders we have in this area. I know 93, I win the race from Tours with Platini. It was the 7 or the 8 race in the year. It was 580 kilometers. It was from 1,500 breeders basketing, and this was from 31,000 pigeon we have in this area. The area was from 50 kilometers to 50 kilometers. Was this?
Mm-hmm.
There was also, I think, in the beginning, a strong competition. What we have also a very strong, race program. We are race every week. We have in 14 weeks 6,000 kilometers. We start with 200 kilometer, 240, 280, 300, and then I think it was in this year's 8, 9, 10 races over 400 kilometers. Then also one race from Tours 580, Portier 670, and Angoulême was 70 over 700 kilometers. This was a national race. And when you have in this area or in this area and basking every week the birds, and this year was also a good summer. And when we have a good summer, most of the time the wind come from the east part, and this the birds fly over this to the sun, and then after the years, after 14 weeks, you know what birds are good and not good, and what you
Right.
can take in the breeding loft. And I think this is the selection over the race flights, and then this is all what I have to say. The breeding loft have more potential, or more for me. It's interesting, like the racing loft. And when you put every year the best racers in the breeding loft, what I make, then you have every time also a young breeding loft, and it's coming not too old, and you have these birds what I show good results. It's the easiest way what I think to come good quality in the loft.
Yeah. And so what distance do you like the best? What is your favorite distance? And do you prefer young birds or old birds? What, do you have a preference as to what you like best racing, and what distance do you like?
Yeah, the young bird races in Germany is not popular like in Belgium. It's you cannot say like the national races in Belgium. In Germany is after the old bird season. It's beginning in the beginning of August to middle of September. We have, I think 2, 3 training races and 5, 6 races with the young birds. It's not popular. It's only for me. I see it a little bit for training. I make no darkness system. The only thing what I make a little bit with light, that the feathers not go in the end of the season go out. Aber for me, is most is the old bird season the focus. The season start. We have yesterday the second training race. Next week we have the third training race, and then the last weekend in April we have our first prize race.
And so what is your favorite distance? What do you like the best? What do you enjoy flying that tells you, it shows you what kind of pigeons you have as far as what are your best racers? What's your distance that you like?
I like the races that the birds must be work, so 6, 7, 8 hours on the wing. This is for me to selection and to see what is good. This is the nicest races. So from 400 to 600. This is all the time. In the beginning of June to July, this is my focus race type and the races what I like.
That's, I think, if my math's right, I think it's like 300 to 400 miles.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that too. Do you like the longer distance too, or just the middle, kind of that middle distance? Do you like the longer distance, maybe 600, 700 kilometers?
Yeah, we have in our program, we have 2 races over 500. It's Versong, it's 550 to my place. And the last race is La Sauterelle is 670 to my place. What I basketing. Yeah, maybe it's, we have not in this moment the race over 700, but it's coming also in Germany. Yeah, that people want racing longer. It's, the people coming older in Germany, it's not more like the spirit like for 30 years. To see when we have the last race, many people are not basketing, and for 30 years before it was the highlight in the years to win the race, and you see it. It's in Germany. It's also coming. When you see the age from the people, it's not easy. It's not more like for 25 or 30 years. This is the only thing what is also coming then the last 20, 15 years, that the one-loft races, it's a little bit coming more in the focus. And this is also the thinking for me in my area to become something what's in the future can be good. But I think for the selecting for the good birds, I think you must a little bit racing. Only for one-loft racing, to say what's good is not good is not so easy to bring the right birds in the breeding loft.
Yeah, I agree. It's difficult. It's more of a challenge for sure as a breeder to breed the right birds for one-loft racing. So one of the things that I did is I told people on my YouTube channel that I would be talking to you, and I asked them what kind of questions they would like. So I'm gonna try and jump into some of these too. Let's see here. Your training, whenever you're going back to the club side of things and racing at your loft, what kind of training are you doing? Is it loft flying? Are you going in the car a lot down the road? What kind of training are you doing?
Yeah, the problem is in the car training, we have also a little bit problems in the last years with the hawks. And in the beginning, I make some car trainings. This year was the weather also not so nice. The week what I have holiday, there was also every time raining. I have also not make one car training, only a very short car training. And that was the birds 2 time in the big car with all birds for training races. We have 3 training races before the race starting. And this is where the birds come with the car. And when it's easier and we have not the problems with the hawks, maybe sometimes in the beginning of the year, I make some short training races, but only I think it's 10, 12 kilometers to bring the birds in the condition to fly directly back, and that the yearlings knows that the hens are in the lofts. I raise only with the cocks. This is a little bit in the beginning for to know what the birds. When the birds have the good condition, I think, and to fly good on the house with speed and something, I think then it's not so important to make car training. For youngsters, maybe it's something. It's maybe it must be works. I think for the youngsters, but with the old birds, I have not so much with the car training.
So you fly all cocks. How many cocks do you fly?
50.
50 cocks, and they're on Woodhood. Do you do
Yes.
Woodhood? Okay. So so you're letting them out, let's say Monday morning, you let them out and they need to loft fly. How long? An hour, 30 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah, it is. The birds show me a little bit this. I think it's he must not fly 1 hour. When he not fly, he make it free. I think sometimes it's better 20 minutes with speed. I think it's better for the trainings effect as 1 hour, a little bit like this. Or when you fly 20 minutes, like with speed, I think this is sometimes it's better. And then when the birds won't see that he come down, then I take it out, and then I make the training site a little bit shorter. And then in the next time the birds fly the next day with not much more speed. I think the training speed it's more important as the hours what he must fly. When the birds won't fly 1 hour with speed, then I've let him fly 1 hour. The only thing what you must be see is end of the week, that you make the time a little bit shorter, or you let them not down. While when we have Friday basking day, and when you make Thursday evening, let them 1 hour out, and the birds fly with speed, you became not more the food in the birds to make the race when it's on Saturday a hard race. You became not so much food in the birds, too much fat to that the birds have enough condition to make the race good. This is every time that some people you heard it, then he said, yeah, my neighbor, the birds training on the house, unbelievable. And then when the race they come, he fly nothing, while the birds fly on the house too much that he have not too much to recover. And this is also what you must little bit see when the birds fly with very strong. And you have I study also in the beginning the week what wind is coming or something like this. You became a hard race, or you became a race with tailwind. This is then only also what I see. Our most of the year Thursday evening, I let the birds not more out. I make most of I make every week. Thursday evening is for me a little bit the wedding day. The hens come to the cocks 20, 30 minutes. He come together. And then separated, and then I wait most of the time 1 hour, and then it is around 7 o'clock, and then the birds became feed. And after this, the cocks have also very hungry after this. And I think Thursday evening, it's for me also the most important day to feed the birds when it's come a hard race, to become so much in the birds that he can have enough for Saturday when it's a hard race.
Thursday is important. We want them to build up, and so that the feed comes in and gives them enough energy to where
Yes.
once Saturday comes, that energy is what they use to get home.
Yes. Yeah.
And what are we doing? What are you doing on feeding? What kind of feed are you using? Is it a light mixture with barley? Is it more balanced fats? What are you doing feeding wise? Are you giving them all they want during the week, or do you kind of go light to heavy?
Yes, I have two mixtures. This is one mixer. I call it Top Relax. It's a little bit light mix. While it's this also when you feed in the beginning of the week too much, and that the birds not eat on the last day. You must little bit feed like this on that on the last day on Thursday evening, eating the much things. When the birds on Thursday evening eat not more like this, then I think you have in the beginning of the week feed too much or too much energy, and this is a little bit, yeah. I the relax I use when we have most of the time we have Saturday race day. When Saturday it's a hard race and the birds come in the evening or in the afternoon back, then he became also the top food on the first day. But then the Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, this is are the days where the feed is a little bit the top relax mix what I food feed.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning, this is the top energy mix, what I call it. It's from the German company. It's called it from Mifuma, but many other companies have also buyers.
Right.
It's like this, and this is my two mixers what I have in the beginning. While I think it's also important. The feed is little bit the same. While when you have in the week so much change in the food, this is also not good for the something. It's better you give one food all the week. It's easier for the birds as when
Right.
you have many changes in the week, in the days. And then it's a little bit in the beginning. This is also the top mix, but it's a little bit more paddy-wise inside. This is more light.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so, are you feeding them after they get done loft flying? After they're done flying around the loft, they come in. Is that when they eat?
Yes, I think the Sunday is for me also a recovering day. This is also a day I have not the food have not peats inside. And what you must have that the muscles are recover is you need protein. And this is for me
Protein.
the protein is Sunday, the day for recovering. The birds come not out. Maybe when it's today, like yesterday, the birds fly 1 hour. Then the most of the birds was back. It's today evening. I let him out and then a little bit clean the lofts, and then after 30 minutes he come back. But when you have a hard race, the birds fly 6, 7, 8 hours. Then it's Sunday, a relaxing day, and over the food is protein to recover that you became the muscles back. For me, must be a bird when I want basket. It's like a balloon. It's not be heavy. It's light, but the birds must like a balloon, and this is for me that the bird and you became the muscles. It's only with protein to become back, and then I see it in the first in the year, the first races. Then it's need Sunday, it's enough. But in the second part of the year, most of the time I use also on Monday the proteins to become the birds to recover back.
What about grit? Are you doing grit every day for them
Yes.
to digest?
Yeah, the grit is, I think, is also important. You see it. He like it. Sometimes he not go to the food and then go first to the grit and put some psalms and minerals and something like this. I think, this is
important.
Yes.
And are you doing anything with the water? Do you put products in the water at all, like on race day when they come home, or are you doing any electrolytes or amino acids or anything
Yes,
during the week?
I have some products from Röhnfried what I work. It's for me, I think the recovering is also the first 2 days. It's important while if faster the birds recovered, then he can make it for the next weekend. The two things what I have in the water when the birds come back is beta-amine and rotosal. Rotosal is something like catosal. I not know, you know, catosal is butafazone. This is very high aminic. It's for the to recover. And I think this two things is in the water when the birds come on Saturday back.
I like the Ron Fried products.
Yes.
I use the Amino Forte from Ron Fried when they come home, and it always helps bounce them back.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, the birds also become muscles back recovering, and you see that the birds recover very fast.
Yeah. So Matthew here says specific medication program, and yeah, we talked about loft flying versus road training. So medication and vaccines are, so let's start with when you're mating up your breeders, are you medicating, are you vaccinating them? And what's your routine to get them healthy to breed the best youngsters possible?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I have luck. We have here some good veterinarians in the Pixen sport, and then we can go and check the birds, what is happening, and something of all is good. And I not know if you in America also some veterinarians for the birds. I think it's not so easy to have
It's
something or
it's not as easy to, in America we're so spread out.
yeah.
It's hard to get veterinarian, but you can send your
Mm,
droppings in and get them tested here to figure
okay.
out what's going on. But you
Mm,
all have a big advantage there to have
yeah.
veterinarians you can go straight to for sure.
What I have in the many years, the last years, what I work is also to become the pH little bit go down. I think then you have not so much problem with canker with the trichomas. This is, I think it's most of the before when you breed 2, 3 rounds, then you have youngsters with wet coat, shit, and something.
Hmm.
But when you have became the pH little bit or make it down, I think the canker, then you have not the big problems with this. I think this is also very, yeah, it's a good think it's also von Röhnfried Avidress
Yeah,
what I
Everydays Plus, I think, right?
yes, Avidress. I think this is for the breeding loft. It's very good product. And then I little bit changed something also. When you give every time Avidress, I think for the old hands and for the eggs, it's to become the calcium out. I think also I give I think 4 days in the week Avidress and 3 days a little bit. It's called it CFOS. It's minerals. It's also a little bit the pH go down, but I think it's also when you give every time every dress. I think this is also not so for the hands, for the eggs, for the all ten. I have also some all tens. It's not so super. Then I little bit make a switch, little bit every dress and little bit CFOS in the water.
That'll help them form the egg with that calcium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And
And
so vaccines, are you vaccinating?
vaccine, I make 1 month before I coupling the breeders. I vaccine with Paramyxo. This is the vaccine gegen Paratyphus. I have not. I make no vaccine. Sometimes I make before the coupling the breeders 1 month, 1 week became something. When I have some, yeah, every year I also look for some new birds, bring it back, or some birds come back from the one-loft races. This is then also that I make for the breeding season 1 week something over the water for Paratyphus salmonella. That became all birds in the same.
You medicate them so everybody in your loft has the same immunity,
Yeah,
same immune
yeah,
system.
yeah.
So you're
I think
vaccinating. Yeah.
I think it's for me, it's the best is go to the vet, check if the birds are good. When it's all good, then you must not make. This is the easiest thing. I think for the good immune system and to see for the strong birds, I think that when you give too much medicine, I think you have not to the right birds. When you have the birds that need every time after 2, 3 months. You see the birds looking not good. I think this is not the birds what you can help you. You need the strong birds. But to make it before the season come all good, I think while the birds must be in top condition. Then you can breed super youngsters. When you have the birds not in super condition, then when you see not the eggs come in 2, 3 days from all birds or something like this, then it see that's not something it's 100%, and then you cannot breed a super year, and you see it every year at my years. You have some years, then it's all perfect, and then you breed in this year some super birds. And these birds, then I have, 90 was a super breeding year. 2008 was a super breeding year. 98 was a super breeding year. 2009 was, it was some years you make all every time the same, but you have some years, then you have after 4 5 years from this year, 3 4 super birds. And this is to make it to bring the birds, the breeders in the super condition, and then you can breed super youngsters.
Yeah, I agree with you. One of the interesting things that I've talked to with other people about is the difference between a pigeon that flies at home in a club, your pigeons that you personally fly, your cocks that you're racing under your system, versus a bird that has to go to a one-loft. Because when we fly our own birds here in the United States, my birds are under my system. I give them what I give them. I train them the way I train them, and I can take care of them and their individual needs, right? But when they go to a one-loft, they have to fly home to a perch. They have to do it without much motivation. They're not going to be getting all these products. So the immune system that they have is extremely, extremely important. So when you do things like you're talking about, where your pigeons have good immunity, and you focus on selecting the birds that have that good immunity, that can translate over to the one loft too, don't you think?
Yes, you must. The one love in the one love race, you have only the first 4 or 5 weeks something you can do something, and after this, the birds go to the loft, and then you have no hands more there. And this is the only things what you can make in the beginning. All things super, breeder super. The 3 weeks when the breeders feed the youngsters, that's coming all be super. And then the 2 3 weeks or 4 weeks when the youngsters in my loft, then you can also check that's all something good. And then you have no hands more in the birds. And then the only things what it is the genetic. Then it's a little bit, you must have luck that the birds have in the right place or something like this. That the race is also fair, something like this, and and you have strong birds over the years that I have a good selection over my team or for my family to see what birds can be good. And I think it's you need also a family of birds that the birds can make after 6 7 8 months 100%. It's some families need, maybe some long distance family need 2 3 years to perform 100%. But in one love race, most of the one love races, you must after 6 7 months the birds in 100% to make the 500 kilometer flights. And I think this is also when I thinking before 90 the year there we have also with the youngster race with the youngsters over 500 kilometer. And there was in Germany also not with light and dark system. The birds was in the mounting and have also only 2 3 feathers. And then in the middle of September the race was, and after in this races the birds show what's good. This is our good birds for, I think, also for the next years. And I think the family what I create in these years in the beginning not so bad to perform in the one love races.
Yeah, and so I want to get into how you started in one lofts, how you decided to do it. But before we do that, the process of getting your youngsters ready. So you said it's important for the parents to be in good health so they can feed the babies and pass on good immunities to the babies, right? And to feed them and get their energies and
Yeah.
their health right. Then from there, are you vaccinating the babies? Are you medicating them at all? What's
Yeah.
your process to get them ready to go to a one loft?
I think when you the birds, when you put it in the youngsters loft and the birds look not 100% and you must have medication, these birds you must not sending. This is you can, the birds must be look great when the birds go after from the breeding loft to in the youngsters loft. And The only what I make after 2 weeks, it became a vaccine from Paramyxo and Rota. Then some races, what I know, that also vaccine the birds, then I make only this one shot. Some races, what I not know or something, what's a little bit, then after 1 week, he became a second shot, Paramyxorota, that you have in the first 2 weeks that the birds can in the loft coming all good, eating himself and drinking. And then after 10, 14 days, I make the first time, the first injection. Then 1 week or 10 days later, most of the birds go then to the races. And some races, what I not know, 100 or a little bit, then I make after 10 days or the 1 week after this became the second. But I think 70-80% became only one shot.
So you're kind of paying attention to what the one-loft race is going to do, if they're going to vaccinate the birds upon arrival, if they're not going to vaccinate the birds upon arrival. So if they are going to vaccinate them, you give them 1 dose of the rota to make sure that they have that, and then when they get to the one-loft, they get their booster then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. And if they don't, yeah.
What is also when you have the breeders every year, some people also say, no, I not vaccine my breeders. But I think this is also important to vaccine the breeders while something from the hens go also over the eggs. And in
Yes.
the beginning, the youngsters, when it's come from the nest in the youngster loft, he have also a little bit immune system became from the breeders over the egg. It's also not that he have been nothing. And this is, I think it's important also to vaccine the breeders.
Yeah, we call it the backpack, where you're giving your babies a backpack of immunity that they carry with them, and it's in the egg from the mother that passes on, and it's very important for especially going to one lofts. They got to have those immunity backpacks to take with them. So
I think it's, you must see it's the middle things. I think when it's looked like Pattaya. Pattaya, I think he make 5 different vaccine shots, and then it's not important to make it at your place. Then I think the birds became too much. It's when you have here 1 times, and then it's enough.
Yeah, because they're already taking care of it when they get there to Pattaya. Okay, that makes sense. Well, so what year was it where you discovered one-loft racing, and why did that appeal to you? Why did you like that, and how did you get started in one-loft racing?
Yeah, the first start was I think it was 98, I think. There was Willy van Beers was also very close in my area. And then he come one time to me and said, you are interested in the $1 million race in South Africa. I heard it before, and I also sometimes a little bit gambler. And I said, yes, I heard it, and it was the start. And this was 98. I give him 3 birds, and this was also not. I think it was $1,000 to activate the birds. I think it's in this was not normal to make races to activate the birds for $1,000. It's
No.
also it was, I think in this year's was only 40-50 birds in South Africa, and this was the starts with the one-loft races. And then in the first years I make the 8th place. I win $10,000, and this was crazy. It was 20,000 D marks what we have, and when you make 1 races in the first and you win something like this, then you became also a little bit
Hooked. Yeah, they hooks you in.
And this was also a crazy year for Germany. We have only, I think, 40-50 birds in the race, and we have in the first 10, I think, 4 or 5 birds. One Wagner win, one German make the 3rd place. I think one make the 6th, I make the 8th place, and one bird people make the 10th. And then Germany became also crazy in this. And 2 years later was the Olympic in Cape Town. And then I think in this year was 500-600 birds from Germany go to the races. And This, I think, the $1 million race in South Africa. This was the point to people coming to go in the sports to see what happened. And when you could look 20 years before and what you have in this moment, how many races, and it's the same in like in USA. I think it's also this is also in Germany before. I also not make it's in my, but I think maybe 40 years before there was also a little bit gambling in the things, and then people are also coming more interesting. And I think every time there's a little bit money inside to become something, that's also more interesting. And you see it, how many birds I send in this moment to Pattaya. Unbelievable, over 10,000 birds.
Yeah.
In my club, I think not so many birds. We are basketing and then go all over in the races. All the people want to gamble and race with to this guy. And when you have a good internet site and all things, and this is what I also like. It's a South Africa race in South Africa. It was in the winter time. You have nothing. It was super, and when you have a good bird, was fast. You can make gambling, you make pools, and this was so interesting, and so many people come in to see this. And when in the morning, this was every 3-4 days was a race for pooling, and in the morning you make the computer, then you have the webcam to see where birds are coming, and then you go on the pool side to see what's be happening. But you see, it was from Germany, I think, in the national pools. I think it was from the short races every time $3,000-4,000 in for the people in for pooling. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and it's growing and growing, especially United
Yeah,
States.
yeah,
United States, everybody is so spread out. It's hard, and it's
yeah,
getting
yeah,
harder and harder to fly in a club. Now, where I
yeah,
am, we still have enough people. We can still fly here. I have plenty of people to compete against, but there's a lot of people that live in places where one loft's the only option, and that's
yeah,
how they get to test their pigeons. So it's definitely, as you already know, it's huge here, and you got to go to Texas and see a few of the one lofts like Cuevas, and so anyway, it is something it's growing, and you've had a ton of success with. What is your kind of pigeon that you like in your hand? Do you select pigeons to go to one lofts based on how they feel in the hand, or do you grade the pigeons? How do you select?
yeah. What I check that the birds are not too big. I race only with the cocks. Most of the time, the hens I send to the one-loft races, while the cocks I need for my race program. And then I check not the big type, the small type, maybe the middle type. It can be also a little bit. When it was the one of the super years was 2010 in South Africa. I sent 3 birds to this. It was 2 hens and 1 cock. One cock cut the cutter nest. It was not a big cock, but it was a small, yeah, it's medium-sized cock. He make the third place. Then the other bird, he win a car, and the other birds come also back in the final. It was unbelievable. I sent 3 birds, and 3 birds come after the final back, and one win the car, one make the third prize.
Wow.
And yeah, this. But the brothers and sisters from these birds was also in my loft was good, and this is also what I look to see. What is nice when the birds perform good in your loft, make good results, and then the brothers and sisters make good results in the races, then you know maybe it's something it's be good. And there you can also a little bit focus on this. And for me was, yeah, for selecting the birds to find the super birds was the race. South Africa $1 million race was the best. It's you see so many super birds from these birds. What makes super results are super breeders, and
Right.
this is only what is in this moment. We have not 100% super race to select the super birds. This is yeah, Pattaya it's okay, but it's also many tailwind races. It's many birds come together. When you see the ace birds, it's not that you can feel after 5 races something. Yeah, some ace birds he make the 1,000 or 2,000 places, something like this. And Victoria Falls is also, yeah, I say also the training is also, the birds are too old when we start with the training. It's this is the same when I have youngsters and train after 7 8 months. The first time I also lose the bird. This is also, yeah, what I say, not good in my eyes. While the birds must train when it 2 3 months old, then you must start, or the 4 months, you must start that to be learned. And when you not learn, then the birds are a little bit, yeah, it's good genetic, but when you not have the training in the beginning, then you lose so many birds in the beginning. I think this is, it's also not easy to say what's good is not good.
And I know it's difficult trying to get birds to the US because they have to quarantine there, they have to quarantine
Yeah.
here. But is that something you think you might try in the future, is doing some USA one-loft races?
Yeah, I think what you have super races, also your training program, what you make. When I see the races, the Black Gold or the Tony Kovac, how much the people are trained super. When you have to race 500 600 miles or 400 miles, 450 miles, how many birds come back? This is yeah, it's super. Running one-off races. This
Right.
is that I think that is for the selection is also super. When you have then races that the bird 7 8 9 hours on the wing, and when you have maybe 2 3 like this races, and the birds in every race perform very good, these are good birds for to becoming better.
So it's something you're interested in trying in the future, maybe something like Tony Cuevas race to send birds
Yeah,
to.
I have some ideas to breed something together, something for sending from Europe to USA. We are also trying, but the birds must to stay in different places and quarantine. It's not works.
Yeah.
Some people send to Russia for 3 4 years. The birds come every time 30 minutes after the first birds. I think
Too much
it's
quarantine.
yeah, too much quarantine. It's been not work. The same like in China. In China, also super races, but it's the same problem. You must. This is the good races in Pattaya. The birds are in 2 days in the lofts. This can be works. When you're not, then the people that live in USA or they live in China, it's much better. It's when your birds are 2 3 months not in the loft and stay in other lofts, it's can be not work.
Well, your family of pigeons, your bloodline of pigeons has done well all over the world in one lofts, but it's it's a family of pigeons that you see here in the United States doing well. And so if there was a better way to get them here, you'd probably be able to compete all over the United States with your own birds if they could just get them through that quarantine process
Yeah.
quicker. But it is
It,
difficult to get them here.
yeah. Aber it's every time also nice to become reference, and people are happy when winning some birds. And when I was in Houston, so many people come to me and say what you win, and also in Mexico and something. It's nice. It's also a little bit to see that not only that the birds work in my hands, sondern it's really the quality that the birds also show all over the world.
Yeah.
The potential and make good results. This is I see. This is sometimes I have much more nicer. That's when other some people win something, and then you say that's also the people invest so much money in the birds, and this is also nice to see that the birds, the people have also luck and fun with this birds and
Yeah,
win
exactly.
something. Yeah.
So Midas Loft says the Black Power dynasty has been so strong on the national combine and one loft race levels. It's so impressive. Um, what's the story behind that bloodline? And are you still? He says, what percentage are still related to Black Power? So I guess he's saying, are you still breeding out of the Black Power bloodlines, children, grandchildren, so on and so forth? How did that begin with that bird, and how it is now?
Okay, I can a little bit tell the story over black power. Yeah, the black color come from Chris van Massenhofen. It was 98. I have one people that make a newspaper in Germany. He is also many times in Belgium. And then I ask him, Belgium loft that make good results, that not so famous, that not so many people was there. And he say, yeah, go to Chris van Massenhofen. It's this a young guy. He's 2 years young. He is younger as me. And then I read also the stories a little bit while the men from the newspaper have make also a reportation over this loft. And then I read that he have one bird. It call it the Donkere. And the Donkere, it's make 22 times first prize on short distance races. And there's also coming the color. And the three sons from the Donkere make also 14, 10, and 8 first prizes. And was also when I read something and I see that is not only one bird working, sondern more birds are working. And it's every time it's one super bird, and then the people make a family over this. And this is, I think, it's also, yeah, to become maybe something from this family to cross in your family to see what is be happening. And then I was 99 there. I buy 14 youngsters. And I put it aber not all in the breeding, or I put all in the youngster loft and to race. And in this year, I think from the 6 or 7 best youngsters, 3 was from the Chris van Massenhofen inside. Then the cocks I raise, aber the cocks, when I basketing every week in Germany, he not working. I lose all the cocks. And I said, oh, the short distance birds are not working in Germany. It's not too strong. Aber the hens, what I have from the goes for the cocks for the weatherwood, the what's waiting at home.
Right.
And I have one cock it was a yearling cock. I make a co-breeding. We have here in my area a pair. It's called it King My Princess. It was a Jan Gondelas pair. From this pair was 93 the national winner from Angoulême, 70 kilometers. And also 2 years later, he breed from this pair Prinz Voraus. And Prinz Voraus was for me one of the best birds what I ever handled. So, and then I make, it was also 99, I make a co-breeding with the Prinz Voraus, with one of the best daughters from Carl Lewis. And the best combination from Carl Lewis was when I pair it with Naomi. Naomi was my best breeding hen, and Naomi come from Platini. Platini was the bird that win 93 the first prize from 31,000 birds.
Wow.
And the first youngster what I breed from Carl Lewis, I call it Julia. And Julia was also winning a first prize from 400 kilometers, 93. And this hen, I breed 95 to Platini, and I breed Naomi. So, also Naomi is also a grandchild from Carl Lewis. And 97, I breed Carl Lewis with Naomi. It was a little bit inbreed, but it was one of the click pairs what I have. And the first 2 youngsters what I breed from Carl Lewis with Naomi was Vialli and Figo. Vialli and Figo, I think, make 46 prizes and 21st time in the first 10%. Was also super cocks.
Super.
And one of the 2 hens, or one of the children was 772. And the other full sister, or another youngster from Carl Lewis with Naomi, was also the grandmother from Birdie, the super bird from Sutter from Bears. I think one of the best one-loft birds in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And with the breeding results, I think one of the best one-loft birds ever. And then 99, there was the cock from the co-breeding from Prinz Voraus with the super hen from Carl Lewis with Naomi. And the dark hen from Chris van Massenhofen. So, and I breed one youngster from this couple for the race before the race season, and this black one was Black Power.
Mhm.
And what I was a little bit stupid, it was the 7 or the 8 race. It was a little bit disaster race. I lost the father from Black Power. So, and the mother, I said, okay, the father I lost, the short distance blood I also not in, and I killed the mother also. It was a big mistake. While the nest sister from the mother from Black Power, I have it, and was also a good breeding hen. So, aber then the only cock what I have from this couple was Black Power, also good. I know I raised him also on the last race as yearling, and this was also a very hard race. It was also with I think it was Rufex 740 kilometers, and the prizes was not on the first day coming back. Also the race go over to the next day. That 30% from all basket birds are back. And also Black Power come in the morning and make on this race a prize. So, and then when he was 2 years old, he was on the 4 longest races. It was Allianz 500, Tours 580, Portier 670, and Rufex 740. He was the 4th best bird from over 40,000 birds in my area.
Wow.
And Rufex was also very good final. It was from 740 kilometers. The birds, I think, was released at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he come and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and he win the first prize with 10 minutes ahead in my area, in the behind area. Some birds in the front after 60, 70 kilometers before, while when the birds are 10 hours on the wing is every time, and it's very hot to compete with the birds in the front. Aber in my area, in the last was it with 10 minutes before. And yes, after this, Black Power go in the breeding loft, and yeah, it's coming a super breeder.
So, are you still breeding from children, grandchildren, and they're still the main bloodline for you?
Yeah, children, I have not more. The last youngster what I breed from Black Power was from 2016. It's in my loft. Then I have some hens. Lucia is from 2014. It was last year I breed 6 nice babies and some hens. It's more like a little bit the grandchildren in this moment. Black
Right.
Pearl, from Black Pearl, I have luck. Last year I breed 3 youngsters. Black Pearl, I think, was the best son from Black Power. He was Olympic cock, Euro Cup winner, 5 first prizes, also great breeder. I have many, cocks and daughters from him in the breeding loft. From Black Ocean was a super cock from Black Power. I have some youngsters, and this is all the main. And also every year a little bit bring something into cross, and then you see what can be good. And
That is one of the questions here from a viewer. It says, how does he select pigeons to bring in to cross? So what are you looking for to cross into your family of birds? What are you looking for? Is it, do you handle them in the way they feel? Is it the results only? I mean, what are you looking at? What do you like to see?
yes, it's a little bit the family, the pedigree, that you have a good family in the background, that over many generations something coming good. That is also what is nice. What I find, I buy last year the 3rd ace bird from Victoria Falls. Why I bought this bird is in the mother side, it's my blood inside. It's Katze with the hand dresses diver what win the car. This is then also nice to see that my blood is in the bird. It is 50% my blood, 50% other blood, but this is then the bird nice to bring it back with results to cross then in my birds in, and or other birds what I cross in to see when it's other birds make good results with this birds, then it's also to bring it in my birds in. It's every time a testing. It's when it's so easy, when you say this is the way what you make, is this not so? It's every time it trying, and then it's for me it's a selection. It's breed youngsters, bring it in the loft to raise, and then you can say after 2-3 years it's good or not good. Most of the time you say something what works, but the things what you also do and not works, you not never speak something, and it's also many things that's not works. I cannot say this is the way and this is the right way. It's
There's a little bit of luck,
yes.
into what's going to work, right?
I think it's every time easier to check birds that have results inside.
Right.
And not have birds that have in the second, third generation the last time to see the results. For me, it's the best is raise the birds, bring the best birds from your race team in the breeding loft. This is every time what I make. While I say it's more important for me the breeding loft. That's the race loft. While every year last year I have a yearling, he wins 3 times the first prize, also on good races with headwind, and then he make also in the last race also a good prize. This is a bird, this is 2 years old. This is a super bird maybe for this year to racing. But I say the bird, I can also lose him on the race for a hawk or something. For me, this bird go in the breeding loft to see what become in the future. And this is, I have not so that I focus for the results for win something. Things for me, it's the racing, only selecting the right birds to bring in the breeding loft and then sending from these birds to the races, to one-loft races, to see the quality. And sometimes I buy some birds with results also. When I see maybe a hen with good results or something, then I buy something also. Then maybe from one families that's good breeder or something to bring in my family to cross in to see. Maybe also a family that works also when it's a little bit inbreed, that works, make good results. Well, my family also a little bit make good results when it's also inbreed. When I have it was for 2020, I have one bird. It was my best birds. It was 12 races, 12 prizes, over 1,000 birds. And this bird, I call it Nuka Louis. And when I make the pedigree from Nuka Louis, not only the 4 generation what you see on the paper, I make it more. And then when I make it more, I have in this bird 8 times Caluises in the pedigree. And this is also nice to see that so a bird make good results in racing. And this bird, I bring it then direct in the breeding loft. And when you have a bird that the family, it's also inside, and then you can bring something new. While you must bring something new when it's you make too much inbreed. Sometimes it's breeding out, but to bring every time something in to make it's not too inbreed, and then when something works, then it's super. While it's also very hard when you have a good standard or a high quality in the breeding loft and you buy one bird. It's very hard to say this one bird to help you, to bring you the same or be higher. You see also I breed maybe 60, 70 youngsters for racing for me. And after 4 or 5 years, there's not so many more from this year there. And this is every time hard to bring one bird, but you must try it, while it's not every time working.
If you're breeding 70 youngsters, you're looking for maybe 5 to 7 birds out of that 70, right? That are your
When you have one super bird, that is for me, it's enough. You need the super bird. This is the key. This is also what I have. Also, I not believe so in pairs. I believe in the super birds, and to say maybe this is a super pair, but where can you say maybe it's super, but you can bring other hen, maybe it can much better. this is also every year to try new and
Try
see
new,
what,
yeah,
yeah, to
mix
see
them.
what's coming better. Yeah.
So earlier you had a interesting point that I want to touch back on is that once a pigeon, even if it's a yearling, once he shows you that he's a special bird, he wins multiple races, he's getting prizes, multiple races. Once he proves that he's a good pigeon, that's when you put him in the breeding loft. So
Yeah.
you're not trying to fly him, no matter what happens, I'm flying him 2 to 3 years. You're waiting for him to show you that he's special. And once he shows you, then he goes to the breeding loft. So it's not so much how many years, but how many races it takes before they show you. That's whenever you put them in the breeding loft, so you don't risk, you could have kept flying that bird as a 2-year-old, but then if you lose him, then you're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So once
Yeah.
the bird shows you, that's when they go to the breeding
Yeah.
loft, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Years before, we have not so many problems with, yeah, with the hawks on the route. Yet we have some races, normal races, all birds there. One bird is not there. Sometimes it's a super bird, that the birds that fly in the front or something, that sparrowhawks take him out, and the risk to there to become something. It's for me, yeah,
Yeah.
it's high, and from the yearling, it was also the mother was very old. I think it was the last youngsters from this mother, and this is also a little bit to make it in the point to bring these birds. And I have also some old birds inside. The father was from 14, the mother is from 14. He is from 22. So it's then it's better to bring so a bird direct in the breeding loft to save him as to raise him and to lost him.
Yeah, I'm in that scenario right now. I am racing currently our old bird season, and I have a pigeon that, so when we get our rings, we change it this year, but in the past 10 years, when we get our rings, I get number one and I go all the way to 300 or 500. So it's 1 to 300, 500. So the pigeon, 2023, the pigeon that I put the first ring on, his number is 1. He
Yeah.
was really good as a young bird, but he's been awesome, like super, super as a yearling right now. He's been in my first drop of pigeons twice on hard races, and this past weekend we had a 400-mile race. It was very hot, very humid, just a tough day, and he was first in my loft again. And we're gonna get our results, I think Tuesday evening, to see if he won the club and the combine and everything. But I'm facing that decision too. Do obviously I'm going to put a bird like that in the breeding loft, but a lot of people would say, well, I want to fly him as a 2-year-old because as a 2-year-old, he can help me win more. But then I may end up, if something happens, you never know, something could happen. So it's that kind of decision we have to make, right?
Yeah, it is yeah this when you see some super birds can be also became a super breeder. When I have Carl Lewis not put in the beginning in my breeding loft, I think I not know operates here we are talking. Maybe then was nothing. Only the super bird in the breeding loft can make you the step on the top, and then you must can breed a family, and then it's not only one bird, then you can breed maybe 10 15 birds from the family, and then 10 15 birds can be back. It's when one bird come, what can you can also say it can be 10 birds come direct back. And this is yeah what I say to make it's not every time working, but you must try it,
Hmm.
while so many super birds can be a super breeder, and then you can build a family. And you see it in all top lofts where something on the high level, there's only 1 2 super birds, and then it's a family. It's then you have more birds from this family in the race, and then you can yeah, then not only one, then maybe 10 birds come in 2 3 years back. It's
Exactly.
just
And
every time
yeah,
while I say it to so many people, then every time the people say, "Ah, I have not the right loft, I have not the right direction," and something, and then you have one super bird, and the bird make good results, and then I say, when this bird performs super, why the other birds not perform super? You need not only this one bird, you need 10 from this bird. Then it's racing easy. and the nomination is also easy when you have this. But then most of the people said, yeah, I need the bird for next year, and then I need the next year, then the bird 3-4 years old. And it is every time also for super birds. When you bring super birds from the race loft in the breeding loft, most of the time the birds need 1 year to be with your head go in the breeding loft to make also super results. This is also a thing what super birds have it. It is not easy to bring the super birds direct in the loft and maybe you take the hen from the race to him with him in the breeding loft. But I see it many times. Carl Lewis have also in the first year it was not easy to breed with him while he was with the head in the racing loft.
Right.
And this is also in super hens the same. I have some hens. Miss Black was the same. When I hold Miss Black here after 3-4, or he was, I think, 6-7 years old. After 2 weeks, I think he was died. Why he not eat something? He was so yeah, coming back to the other loft, and this is the super birds what he have it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, the parents of this yearling cock that I'm talking about have produced one-loft winners for me. So siblings to this bird have been good at one-lofts, and the bird's flying well for me here. His sister the
Yeah.
previous year was an ace pigeon here. So I just think it's one of those things where I would love to continue to fly him as a 2-year-old, because I think as a 2-year-old he could do even more and more and more. But the risk is there, and he's already proven he's a good pigeon. So that's something interesting to think about for sure.
From this year is was this the last race, or you have some races in your area?
I still have more races to go. So we have 3 middle distance races, and we have 4 long distance races left.
Okay.
So we still have a
Okay.
lot of races left. So as a
Mm.
yearling, I don't send them on the very long 600
Yeah.
miles, 500 miles. I don't do that
Yeah.
with yearlings, but
Mm.
you know, he went to 400 miles and anything less. That's how I get
Yeah.
him here. So, you know, from 150 miles to 400 miles, he's performed very well
Mm.
on the hard races. So that's what I'm trying to decide, is to how to go forward with him. But you know, definitely, like you said, the longer you wait on a pigeon like that to breed from him, you're missing out on potential, you know, future super 15 superstars out of that pigeon if you wait too long.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's also every time nice to see him in the breeding loft.
Yeah, you look and see him and he's in there, and you're not worried when if he's coming
Yeah.
home or not, right? Um, I think we've gone into some of these questions. Do you pull tail feathers on your birds to boost immunity? Have you ever heard of that, boosting immunity from tail feathers? Okay. We've covered vaccines. So let's see here. Do you have a proudest moment? Maybe it's something that you have happened there at your loft flying them yourselves, or maybe it's a result you've had in the one loft, something that is your favorite moment that you look back on.
Yeah, okay. When you look, it was nice. Yeah, in for this was for 2 years to the ace bird in Pattaya for so a big race. It's yeah, the hours to when the bird in the final come back, and then you make the calculation and see he was before the final on 16th place, I think, and then in the final he was also, we make I think 44 the place, and then you make the calculation, and then you wait yeah, I think it's need 4 or 5 hours to become that. Then this is also some moments that's nice. And also, I think what was nice, the first place from Platini from 31,000 birds. Yeah, when a bird comes so early back from a race like this, and you see something, and one super bird come back, this is also nice moments what you have.
Yeah, those are the best.
Mm.
Um, if you, what's your advice? What do you say to people who are new to the sport that are just starting out in 2024? Maybe somebody's been out of the sport for a while and they're coming back to start racing again. What's your advice? What would you do if you were starting over, if you were new to the sport? How would you go about it to be successful to start out?
Yeah, I think what he, yeah, the first thing, ob he want to race on his own loft or ob he want to race one-loft races. This is, I think, a little bit. When you race on his own loft, then maybe I look in my area for a good loft or something, and I study him that he is over many years good. Maybe, and then I make contact to him and
Right.
little bit to see. And when it's also a family from birds, what he have, it's not only 1 year that he make it 10 years with the same birds, and then it's maybe to go him maybe after the season to become something from the best racers. To make this is maybe the first step, and maybe then check other people that also have a good family with good results, and it's also a good family that you became from two fanciers, maybe two youngsters in the late summer or something, and then yeah, cross a little bit this family, this two families, and then raise the birds, breeding, racing, and then selection. This is the only things what you can do. And when you have a good bird, bring him early in the breeding loft and to build a family. This is the things what you can make. This is the same what I make when I put Carl Lewis direct in the breeding loft to build a family over many years. Then when you have a good family, then you must also make open your eyes every time checking. While when you say you have the best birds, then it's the first step you go down. You every time you must also check for other to bring in you to crossing, while it's yeah not every year or the one or the two birds that you bring in, that bird support direct working. It's maybe it's need 3-4 years that you find one bird that you can helping you. But this is every time to check, and maybe this is for one-love races. Maybe this is also the races what you want entering. Also a little bit check the pedigrees from the winners, something up you can see what birds are working. Maybe when it's a good one-love race, also buy maybe some good birds from a good races. This can also be a start to see something to bring, or some birds from good family to bring and to start like this. It's this the things what are working. No, it's not so easy that you find one love races that every year the same family. Maybe it works. This was South Africa. South Africa, you have every time the headwinds, you have the heat, and you have some people that I know Sava Oswald, the Kruger run. This is the years, 10 years the birds are working. This is every year some birds are working from this family, and I think the family over Carl Lewis and Black Power of Alphonse Class, and for me the birds, I think this is also not only 1 year, many years that the birds working, and then it's can be a good family to see something to bring and then to start.
That's great advice. Uh, it's getting late there, so I'm gonna let you get on here, get out, go to do your evening for the rest of the evening here. But what when you're holding a pigeon that you're gonna maybe buy, maybe you're at an auction, maybe you're meeting with somebody, what do you like to feel in your hands? Is it feather quality? Is it the keel bone? Is it the wing? What are you looking for when you're analyzing a pigeon?
Yeah, it's when I take a bird in the hand, it must be, yeah, it's like one tile. It's like this. It's also I close backbones closed, the feathers soft, and yeah, you have some types that's be nice in the hands, but it's not so easy to select over the hands, while
Yeah,
I have also so many birds in the hands. What I say, this is a super birds that must be a super breeder or a super racer, and then after 2-3 years, nothing. Some what good see in the list what's good and not good. This is you can see what is good, while you cannot look in the head. This is
that's
what
the
is what
hardest
I
part.
Yeah, this is the thing what I make the racing here in my loft to see what's good and not good.
Yeah.
But the birds must be also nice in the hands. The good birds are also most nice in the hands. Aber what is this percent to also have good birds in the hands, aber have not in the head something? This is yeah the to find the super birds from the other birds. This is yeah the key.
Yeah, because three different pigeons can feel very similar, but one of them
Yeah,
has this,
yeah,
right, and the other two don't, then
yeah,
you have to pick on that. You know, you have
yeah.
to choose that. So, um, is there anything that you'd like to add to the interview, the conversation? Anything that I missed or didn't ask you or didn't cover?
I think was good. Or the
Well, if
people must the
yeah,
people must say what he something learned or was
yeah.
nice. No, it's
What where can people find you? Do you have a website, Facebook, email? Where can people reach out if they want to ask you questions or talk to you about maybe buying birds from you, stuff like that?
yeah. I have on Facebook, Instagram, something like this. Yeah. Also, what when people are something interesting, what I also sent you the 3 links from the YouTubes. This is also nice to people's yeah the story from the beginning. After 30 years, maybe it's also nice when people can also watch this
Yeah.
to to see the starts and a little bit like this.
Well, and when I come over there to see you, we'll talk a little bit more and maybe show some of your lofts and some of your birds so people can see that too.
Yeah,
You know, I get a lot of messages from people saying, "Oh, you need to talk to so and so and talk to them." A lot of people have said you need to get Hardy on here and talk to him
yeah,
about pigeons. So I thank you and appreciate you coming on. It's a lot of fun to talk to you, and congratulations on all your success with the birds. And I can't wait to come see you and meet you. And I know
yes,
the audience is going to love this and appreciate it as well. So thank you for your time.
yeah, no problem.
So, all right. Well, Hardy Kruger, thank you again. And people can find you, you said on Facebook. And you know, if people are interested in talking to you, they can reach out to you there. And thank you again. We'll see you soon.
Yes,
All
you're
right.
welcome.